Church bells in the morning, rolling soft across the fields, over barns and gravel driveways, over gardens by the hill. Coffee on the old stove, sunlight on the floor, Mama humming in the kitchen, Daddy buttoning by the door. The town was barely waking, but the steeple already knew every family by the roadside, every truck that would come through. White shirts on the chair backs, shoes lined up in pairs, and a quiet kind of mercy moving gently through the air. Church bells in the morning, calling slow and clear, not loud enough to shake the world, just enough to bring it near. And I still hear that Sunday in the light and in the wind, church bells in the morning, calling me home again. There was dust along the windshield, there was dew along the wire, there were old men at the doorway talking weather, work, and tires. Kids ran through the gravel with their collars coming loose, and every little ordinary thing had a Sunday kind of truth. I didn't know those mornings would stay with me this long, didn't know a bell could carry more than just a song. Now when the world gets heavy and my heart feels worn and thin, I close my eyes and hear them coming through the years again. Church bells in the morning, calling slow and clear, not loud enough to shake the world, just enough to bring it near. And I still hear that Sunday in the light and in the wind, church bells in the morning, calling me home again. Maybe peace was never grand, maybe grace was always small, a kitchen cup, a country road, a bell above it all. Maybe what we carry from the places we began is not the sermon or the song, but the feeling where we stand. Church bells in the morning still find me now and then, when the coffee starts to rise in and the daylight settles in. I don't need the past returned, I just need that sound again. Church bells in the morning, calling me home again. Church bells in the morning, ooh. Church bells in the morning, ooh. Church bells in the morning, calling me home again. Church bells in the morning. Coffee before the hymns, before the church shoes hit the floor, before the old car started and we stepped out through the door. Mama had the skillet low, Daddy had his paper folded, Sunlight found the kitchen walls and turned the morning golden. And there were shirts hung on the chair backs, there were combs beside the sink, there was bacon on the stovetop and a clock that didn't blink. Nobody talked too loudly, like a house still had to wait. And the coffee smelled like Sunday before the bells would shake. Coffee before the hymns, that's where Sunday used to start. Not in stained glass or in preaching, but in the quiet of the heart, with a cup held in both hands and the morning settling in. I still miss that little piece. Coffee before the hymns. Daddy'd clear his throat once, Moma'd say, don't be late. Somebody'd lose a left shoe, somebody'd make us wait. And I was too young to notice how much love was in the room, in the butter on the biscuits and the way the coffee bloomed. The hymns would come later through the doors of that white church, but home had its own music in the cups and quiet words. A spoon against a saucer, a chair pulled back again, those were the first notes ringing. Coffee before the hymns. Coffee before the hymns, that's where Sunday used to start. Not in stained glass or in preaching, but in the quiet of the heart, with a cup held in both hands and the morning settling in. I still miss that little piece. Coffee before the hymns. Maybe grace was in the kitchen long before we bowed our heads. Maybe faith was in the way Mama made sure we were fed. Maybe heaven felt the closest in that small and simple room, before the choir ever started, before the first song bloomed. Coffee before the hymns still comes back to me when the morning light turns gentle and the old house starts to breathe. And I don't need to be a child to feel that warmth again. There was mercy in the quiet. Coffee before the hymns.
Coffee before the hymns. Coffee before the hymns. Coffee before the hymns. Coffee before the hymns.
There was mercy in the quiet. Coffee before the hymns. The road to Sunday started where the kitchen morning ended, with coffee on Daddy's breath and Mama saying, children, listen. We climbed into that old car, still warm from yesterday. White shirts, polished shoes, and dust along the way. The fields were bright with morning, the fence wire caught the sun. A dog barked by the mailbox as the old Ford started up. Mama checked my collar, Daddy kept his hands at 10 and 2. and the road rolled out before us like it knew what Sundays do. The road to Sunday ran soft through fields of gold, past the barns and little houses, past the stories we were told. And I didn't know back then how much peace was in that ride. The road to Sunday still runs somewhere inside. There were hymn books on the backseat, there was gum beneath my shoe, there were sisters whispered secrets like children always do. Daddy hummed a little when the radio lost its sound, and Mama watched the steeple rising over town. It wasn't far in distance, but it felt like something more. From the noise of weekday living to that white church by the road. And I was too young to understand what memory would keep, how a gravel road on Sunday could follow me in sleep. The road to Sunday ran soft through fields of gold, past the barns and little houses, past the stories we were told. And I didn't know back then how much peace was in that ride. The road to Sunday still runs somewhere inside. Maybe faith was in the tires, rolling slow through morning light. Maybe love was in the silence when nobody had to fight. Maybe home and holy were never far apart, just a country road at sunrise and a family in one car. The road to Sunday still bends through memory, past the fields that raised us, past the child I used to be. And I don't need the past return to feel that gentle ride. The road to Sunday still runs somewhere inside. The road to Sunday, the road to Sunday still runs somewhere inside. The road to Sunday, the road to Sunday. White church by the field, with the paint a little worn, standing there in morning light like it had always known. The road came up beside it with gravel turning pale, and the grass behind the fence line moved soft in the Sunday air. Cars pulled in by the oak tree, doors open one by one. Mama's fixing collars, Daddy's standing in the sun. Children cross the parking lot, trying not to run. And that little white church waited for the morning to begin. White church by the field, where the old bell used to ring, where the wind came through the clover and the whole town learned to sing. And I didn't church by the field, still standing in my memory. There were hymn books in the windows, there were fans beside each pew. There were names carved in the old wood by kids with nothing else to do. Sunlight through the open door fell across the floor, and every Sunday felt the same till it didn't anymore. I remember Mama's whisper and Daddy's quiet hand, the preacher's voice moving slowly like dust across the land. It wasn't grand or golden, it wasn't built to shine, but it held a little county for an hour at a time. A white church by the field, where the old bell used to ring, where the wind came through the clover and the whole town learned to sing. And I didn't know back then how much that place would mean. White church by the field, still standing in my memory. Maybe holy can be simple, maybe peace can look this plain. A wooden door, a gravel lot, a field of early grain. Maybe what we carry from those Sundays long ago is not just what we heard inside, but the light around the road. White church by the field still comes back soft and clear when the morning turns to silver and the old bells disappear. And I don't need to walk inside to feel what used to be. White church by the field, still standing in my memory.
White church by the field.
Oh, white church by the field. White church by the field, still standing in my memory. White church by the field. Mama's voice in the kitchen came soft before the light, calling names down the hallway, saying children dress up right. Coffee on the burner, biscuits warm and slow, Sunday shoes by the doorway, and the whole house moving low. She didn't raise it often, she didn't need it loud. One word from where she stood there could settle all us down. A spoon against the mixing bowl, a chair pulled from its place, and Mama's voice in the kitchen put the morning into shape. Mama's voice in the kitchen still finds me now and then, in the smell of coffee rising and the light that wanders in. It wasn't like a sermon, it wasn't like a hymn, but Sunday started gently with Mama's voice in the kitchen. She'd say your collar's crooked, then smooth it with her hand. Tell Daddy not to rush us, though he was trying to stand. There was bacon on the stovetop, there was butter on the bread, And all the love we needed was in the little things she said. I didn't know her patience was a kind of quiet strength. Didn't know those simple mornings would follow me this length. Now when the house gets still and the day feels hard to start, I hear her in the small things, still steady in my heart. Mama's voice in the kitchen still finds me now and then, in the smell of coffee rising and the light that wanders in. It wasn't like a sermon, it wasn't like a hymn, but Sunday started gently with Mama's voice in the kitchen. Maybe home was in her time, and maybe grace was in her tone. Maybe love was how she made a crowded house feel known. Not every holy sound comes from a church bell ringing. Some of it came softly from Mama in the kitchen.
Mama's voice in the kitchen
Still warms a year behind, like a cup set on the table in a gentler part of time. And I don't need those days return to feel that peace again. Sunday still starts somewhere with Mama's voice in the kitchen.
Mama's voice in the kitchen. Mama's voice in the kitchen.
Sunday still starts somewhere with Mama's voice in the kitchen. Daddy's old Sunday shirt hung pressed behind the door. White cotton with a collar worn from years of Sunday mornings before. He'd button it up slowly with his coffee cooling down, comb his hair by the hallway glass without making any sound. There was starch along the sleeves, there was wear around the cuffs, a little smell of aftershave and work hands cleaned up rough. He never made a speech of it, never said what it was worth, but Sunday looked different on him in Daddy's old Sunday shirt. Daddy's old Sunday shirt, clean as morning light, worn by a working man trying to stand upright. And I didn't know back then how much quiet honor hurt, till I remembered him standing there in Daddy's old Sunday shirt. All week long he wore denim, dust grease and faded blue. Came home with tired shoulders and more silence than he used. But Sunday made him softer, not weak, not dressed to shine. Just a man who knew some moments deserved a little time. Mama'd smooth the shoulder like she'd done 1,000 ways. He'd act like he didn't notice, but I know he did the same. Then he'd reach down for my small hand as we stepped out through the dirt. And I felt taller walking with him in Daddy's old Sunday shirt. Daddy's old Sunday shirt, clean as morning light, worn by a working man trying to stand upright. And I didn't know back then how much quiet honor hurt, till I remembered him standing there in Daddy's old Sunday shirt. Maybe faith was in the folding, maybe love was in the care, maybe every button held the weight he didn't share. Maybe dignity is quiet, maybe strength don't need a word. Sometimes a whole life shows itself in one old Sunday shirt.
Daddy's old Sunday shirt
Still comes back to me
when the bells start in the distance
and the morning turns the trees. I don't need the past return to know what I learned from that working man standing there in Daddy's old Sunday shirt. Daddy's old Sunday shirt,
Daddy's old Sunday shirt,
that working man standing there in Daddy's old Sunday shirt. Sunlight through the stained glass fell across the pews, red and gold and Sunday blue on everybody's shoes. Mama's hands were folded, Daddy looked ahead, and dust moved in the colored light like every word unsaid. I was small and restless, counting hats and ceiling beams, too young to understand the words, but old enough to dream. The preacher's voice went rolling, soft against the wall, but that light across the wooden floor is what I remember most of all. Sunlight through the stained glass made the morning kind, turn the dust to something holy for a little piece of time. And I didn't know what grace was, but I felt it when it passed, warm across my Sunday hands. Sunlight through the stained glass. And there were hymn books in the holders, there were fans with funeral names, there were windows cracked in summer, letting in the fields and grain. Someone coughed behind us, someone whispered low, and the whole church seemed to breathe there in that soft, familiar glow. I don't recall each sermon, I don't remember every song, but I remember sitting still when that light came moving on. Across my father's shoulder, across my mother's face, like the morning had forgiven every worry in that place. Sunlight through the stained glass made the morning kind, turn the dust to something holy for a little piece of time. And I didn't know what grace was, but I felt it when it passed, warm across my Sunday hands. Sunlight through the stained glass. Maybe faith begins in color before it finds a name. Maybe peace can enter quietly through an old church window pane. Maybe what a child remembers isn't always what was said, but the way the light came falling like a blessing overhead. Sunlight through the stained glass still comes back to me when the morning turns the curtains into old church memories. I don't need to understand it like I couldn't understand it then. I just know my heart gets quiet when that colored light comes in. Sunlight through the stained glass. Sunlight through the stained glass. My heart gets quiet when that colored light comes in. Gravel lot after service, sun climbing over the trees, dust on polished Sunday shoes and a warm hand on my sleeve. Old trucks lined in crooked row, doors open one by one, and the little white church behind us shining easy in the sun. Mama talked with Mrs. Carter by the steps beneath the bell. Daddy stood with Mr. Wilson, talking crops and wishing wells. Kids ran loose between the bumpers with their collars coming free, and every voice around that place felt like family to me. Gravel lot after service, where the morning slowed down, where the whole small town kept standing with the church doors open wide. And I didn't know the blessing was in every face I'd see. Gravel lot after service still sounds like home to me. There were peppermints in coat pockets, there were hymnals in the car, there were women holding babies and men with working scars. Somebody always said come by, somebody asked who's sick, somebody laughed about the weather and how the weeks go quick. It wasn't grand or perfect, it was dust and heat and names. It was people staying longer than they had to stay. And I was just a restless child, waiting to go home, not knowing I'd remember what I thought I didn't know. Gravel lot after service, where the morning slowed down, where the whole small town kept standing with the church doors open wide. And I didn't know the blessing was in every face I'd see. Gravel lot after service still sounds like home to me. Maybe Maybe church was in the singing, maybe church was in the prayer, but some of it was outside in the warm and dusty air. In a handshake, in a question, in the way folks took their time, in the gravel under Sunday shoes and the sun on county pines. Gravel lot after service still comes back soft and clear when I hear old tires rolling over little stones somewhere. And I don't need those days returned to feel what they gave me. Gravel lot after service still sounds like home to me.
Gravel lot after service. Gravel lot after service.
Still sounds like home.
Gravel lot after service. Gravel lot after service.
The pew where we used to sit was third row from the back, close enough to hear the preacher, far enough for me to act like I was paying attention while the sunlight crossed my knees and Mama gave that quiet look that meant behave and please. Daddy sat beside the aisle with his hat held in his hands, work-worn fingers folded like a quiet, honest man. Mama kept a tissue ready in the pocket of her dress, and I was just a boy there, not knowing I was blessed. The pew where we used to sit still holds a part of me in the worn-down wooden hymn books and the Sunday memories. And I don't need to kneel there to feel those years again. I still know where love was sitting in the pew where we used to sit. There were scratches in the varnish from restless little hands. There were paper fans in summer from the local funeral man. There were whispers from my sisters. There were coughs behind the wall. And every Sunday sounded like a world that wouldn't fall. Now I walk in there sometimes when the church is nearly bare, and that old row looks smaller than the way it lived back there. But if I stand a moment by the aisle and close my eyes, I can feel my family beside me like the years got turned aside. The pew where we used to sit still holds a part of me in the worn-down wooden hymn books and the Sunday memories. And I don't need to kneel there to feel those years again. I still know where love was sitting in the pew where we used to sit. Maybe faith is partly habit, maybe home is partly wood, maybe childhood leaves its fingerprints wherever love once stood. maybe every empty seat can still be full somehow, when the heart remembers clearly who was sitting with you then. The pew where we used to sit still catches morning light, still holds Mama's folded hands and Daddy's shirt of white. And I don't ask those days to answer or come walking back again. I just thank the quiet mercy in the pew where we used to sit.
The pew where we used to sit. The pew where we used to sit.
I just thank the quiet mercy in the pew where we used to sit.
Small town Sunday quiet, after the bells had gone, Main Street lying open with the morning stretching on. The drugstore sign was sleeping, the barber pole stood still, and sunlight touched the courthouse like it had nowhere else to fill. Cars rolled home from service down the same old county roads. Mama had the window cracked, Daddy drove it slow. Kids pulled off their neckties before they reached the drive, and every house along the street looked soft and half alive. Small town Sunday quiet, settling in the air, a little peace on every porch, a little light on every chair. And I didn't know back then how rare that kind of time is, but my heart still goes walking through small town Sunday quiet. There were screen doors opening, there were skillets warming up, there were coffee cups refilling, and biscuits being cut. Somebody's radio played low through an open kitchen screen, and the whole town seemed to rest a while in a place between. Not much ever happened that a newspaper would print, just families coming home again and shirts coming untucked. But I've learned that ordinary can be holy in its way, when the world gives you a morning that don't hurry you away. Small town Sunday quiet, settling in the air, a little peace on every porch, a little light on every chair. And I didn't know back then how rare that kind of time is, but my heart still goes walking through small town Sunday quiet. Maybe peace is not a sermon, maybe grace is not a sound, maybe it's the way a little town lets the morning settle down. Maybe what I miss the most is not one place or name, but the gentle kind of stillness before everything changed. Small town Sunday quiet still finds me now and then, when the streets are nearly empty and the light comes moving in. I don't need the year's return to feel that softness shining. I just close my eyes and listen for small town Sunday quiet.
Small town Sunday quiet. Small town Sunday quiet. I just close my eyes and listen
for small town Sunday quiet. Breakfast after the bells, with the sunlight on the plates. Mama back in the kitchen, saying, "Don't you children wait." Daddy loosened up his collar, set his Bible by the chair, and the smell of coffee rising put a kindness in the air. There were biscuits on the table, there was butter in a dish, there were eggs still in the skillet, and a quiet kind of bliss. Church shoes by the doorway, Sunday coats hung on nails, and the whole house felt easy. Breakfast after the bells, breakfast after the bells. When the morning settled down, when the hymns were still behind us, and the whole house held the sound. I didn't know that simple table would be something time would tell, but I still taste that mercy. Breakfast after the bells. Mama asked about the sermon, Daddy smiled and shook his head, said the preacher went on longer than the roast could stand. We laughed around the coffee like the week was far away, and for one small Sunday hour, nothing heavy had to stay. There were crumbs along the tablecloth, there was jam beside the bread, there were stories from the church lot still moving where we sat. And I was just a restless child, wanting outside, wanting play, never knowing I was living in a memory I'd need someday. Breakfast after the bells, when the morning settled down, when the hymns were still behind us, and the whole house held the sound. I didn't know that simple table would be something time would tell, but I still taste that mercy. Breakfast after the bells. Maybe grace can smell like coffee, maybe peace can sound like spoons, maybe love is passed in silence across a Sunday room. Maybe all the holy things don't end when church is done. Some of them come home with us in the warmth of morning sun. Breakfast after the bells still comes back clear and slow, in the clink of cups and saucers and the old kitchen glow. I don't need those days returned to know they served me well. There was heaven in the ordinary. Breakfast breakfast after the bell.
Breakfast after the bells. Breakfast after the bells.
There was heaven in the ordinary breakfast after the bells. The Bible on the table had a ribbon worn in red, beside a cup of coffee and a half-sliced loaf of bread. Mama's glasses rested on it when the morning light came through, and the pages held the names of everybody that we knew. It wasn't kept for showing, it wasn't locked away. It sat there with a salt jar and the bills we had to pay. There were crumbs along the cover, there were fingerprints of time, like faith was part of living, not a thing we had to shine. The Bible on the table in the Sunday morning light held the weight of every sorrow and the hope that we'd be alright. And I didn't understand it, but I knew it had a place. The Bible on the table and coffee by the graves. Daddy never quoted much, but he'd touch it now and then, like a man might touch a fence post when he's coming home again. Mama wrote down birthdays in the back with careful hands and underlined the verses she believed a heart could stand. There were hard years in that kitchen, there were quiet, worried nights, there were prayers said over supper when the money wasn't right. But that old book never shouted, never asked us to pretend. It just stayed there through the seasons, like a steady family friend. The Bible on the table in the Sunday morning light held the weight of every sorrow and the hope that we'd be alright. And I didn't understand it, but I knew it had a place. The Bible on the table and coffee by the graves. Maybe faith was in the pages, maybe faith was in the hands that turned them after long days trying hard to understand. Maybe home was held together, not by perfect words we knew, but by ordinary mornings and the things we made it through. The Bible on the table still comes back to me when the house is quiet Sunday and the light falls soft and clean. I don't need to know all answers to remember what it gave. The Bible on the table and coffee by the grave.
The Bible on the table. The Bible on the table.
Coffee by the grave. where the choir used to sing. By the window on the right, there was sunlight on the hymnals and dust moving through the light. Mrs. Carter held the high notes. Mr. James came in too late, and nobody sang perfect, but it sounded full of grace. There were folders on the railing, with the corners wearing thin. There were pencil marks on pages where the chorus should begin. A little cough before the first line, a soft shuffle on the floor. Then those voices rose together like they'd done for years before. Where the choir used to sing, I can still hear Sunday rise through the old familiar voices. Through the years I left behind, it wasn't polished, it wasn't grand, but it meant everything. A little town found its heart, where the choir used to sing. Mama sang there some mornings when they needed one more voice. She'd stand there looking nervous, like she hadn't made the choice. Daddy watched from my old pew, with his hat between his knees, and I saw a kind of quiet pride that I was too young then to read. Now the church is mostly empty when I pass it now and then, and the people in that choir don't all gather there again. Some moved out past the county, some sleep beneath the stone, but I swear those wooden rafters still remember every tone. Where the choir used to sing, I can still hear Sunday rise through the old familiar voices. Through the years I left behind, it wasn't polished, it wasn't grand, but it meant everything. A little town found its heart, where the choir used to sing. Maybe music don't need perfect, maybe faith don't need a stage, maybe all those trembling voices were the strength of that old place. Maybe what I miss the most is not the hymn or anything, but the sound of people trying, where the choir used to sing. to sing, where the choir used to sing, where the choir used to sing. I still feel that little town where the choir used to sing. Porch light after church came on before the dark, a little yellow circle on the steps and in the yard. The day had moved so slowly, like Sundays used to do, with dinner on the table and the windows open too. Daddy changed from Sunday clothes and set his shoes aside. Mama folded table linen in the last of evening light. Kids were tired from running through the gravel and the grass, and the house felt warm and easy, like the week could wait to pass. Porch light after church, soft against the evening, shining on the doorway where the family came in breathing. It wasn't grand or golden, it wasn't much to search, just a little home still glowing. Porch light after church. There were dishes in the kitchen, there was coffee going cold, there were hymnlines still remembered by the young and by the old. Somebody rocked the screen door, somebody laughed inside, and the moon came up behind the barn like it had nowhere to hide. I didn't know that quiet could become a thing you miss, that peace could look so simple as a porch light just like this. Now when Sunday evening settles and the world grows soft and still, I can almost see that old light burning by the hill. Porch light after church, soft against the evening, shining on the doorway where the family came in breathing. It wasn't grand or golden, it wasn't much to search, just a little home still glowing. Porch light after church. Maybe grace was in the morning, maybe grace was in the song, but some of it stayed later when the church day carried on. In the supper plates and quiet, in the crickets and the yard, in the light beside the doorway, holding off the dark. Porch light after church still comes back to me when the evening turns to amber and the road grows quiet beneath. I don't need the whole day over, I don't need the old world first, I just miss that little glowing porch light after church.
Porch light after church,
Porch light after church,
just a little home still glowing.
porch light after church,
Porch light after church,
just a little home still glowing. Porch light after church. long way home from Sunday. Turn left past Miller's place. Daddy said the main road's crowded, with a little grin on his face. Mama had her gloves folded in the purse beside her knee, and the church bells were still fading through the warm air in the trees. We rode past fields of clover, past a barn with peeling red, past a creek that flashed like silver, where the willow branches bent. Nobody said much riding, but nobody needed to. The whole car felt like resting in that soft late morning blue. The long way home from Sunday took us where the quiet grows, past the fences and the hay fields, past the life we used to know. And I didn't know that peace could be a road beneath the sun. The long way home from Sunday was the sweetest way to come. My sister leaned against the window, half asleep and still dressed fine. I was tracing county dust on the glass in crooked lines. Daddy hummed a hymn low, Mama watched the sky, and the world outside the windshield seemed to take its time. There was dinner waiting somewhere, there were dishes yet to do. There were chores out by the shed, and a week we'd soon walk through. But for those few country miles, nothing hurried, nothing burned. Just a family in an old car, letting Sunday gently turn. The long way home from Sunday took us where the quiet grows, past the fences and the hay fields, past the life we used to know. And I didn't know that peace could be a road beneath the sun. The long way home from Sunday was the sweetest way to come. Maybe home ain't always quicker, maybe grace can take its time. Maybe love is in the detour down an old familiar line. Maybe what I miss the most is not where we were bound, but the way that road held all of us before it set us down. The long way home from Sunday still bends inside my mind, through the fields and through the sunlight, through a softer kind of time. I don't need those miles returned to know what they had done. The long way home from Sunday was the sweetest way to come. The long way home from Sunday, the long way home from Sunday, the sweetest way to come. The long way home from Sunday, the long way home from Sunday, the long way home from Sunday, the long way home from Sunday. One more cup before noon, Mama said it with a smile. The church clothes were folded on the chair for a while. Daddy sat by the window with his sleeves rolled to the arm, and the whole house moved slower, like it knew there was no harm. There were plates still on the table.
There was butter on the knife.
There was sunlight in the curtains,
And no hurry in our life.
the clock kept on ticking, but nobody seemed to mind. Sunday had a way of making a little room for time. One more cup before noon, one more quiet little grace, one more warm and easy morning in a familiar place. And I didn't know back then how fast those years would move. I just thought there'd always be one more cup before noon. Mama talked about the neighbors.
Daddy nodded now and then.
Somebody laughed in the hallway.
Then the house got still again.
There were crumbs along the counter,
There were hymns still in the air.
and even simple silence felt like somebody cared. Now I pour my coffee slowly. When the Sunday light comes through, and I sit a little longer than I usually do. Not because I'm trying to bring those mornings back, but some peace is worth remembering when the world gets moving fast. One more cup before noon, one more quiet little grace, one more warm and easy morning in a familiar place. And I didn't know back then how fast those years would move. I just thought there'd always be one more cup before noon. Maybe rest was something holy before I knew the word. Maybe love was in the pauses between the things we heard. Maybe Sunday gave us mercy, not in thunder, not in tune, but in coffee passed around. One more cup before noon,
One more cup before noon.
still finds me when I'm grown, in the smell of morning coffee and the quiet of my home. I don't need the past return to feel that old room bloom. I just sit and thank the memory. One more cup before noon, one more cup before noon,
One more cup before noon.
one more cup before noon,
I just sit and thank the memory.
one more cup before noon. when the steeple caught the sun just above the maple trees. The whole white church went golden in the Sunday morning breeze. Cars were pulling in slow, gravel talking under tires, and that little cross above us looked like it was made of fire. Mama held my shoulder, Daddy shut the door. My shoes were full of dust before we crossed that churchyard floor. I didn't know what holy meant, I didn't know much then, but I remember looking up and feeling quiet within. When the steeple caught the sun, the morning seemed to stay, like heaven touched a small town roof in an ordinary way. And I didn't need to understand what had already begun. My heart learned something gentle when the steeple caught the sun. There were voices by the doorway, there were hymn books stacked inside, there were children chasing shadows where the old bell rope hung high. The fields beyond the churchyard were bright with early grain, and every little thing looked washed by light instead of rain. Now I've seen taller buildings and brighter city skies, but none of them ever held me like that small church in my eyes. A wooden door, a gravel path, a bell that rang for everyone, and one clear Sunday morning when the steeple caught the sun. When the steeple caught the sun, the morning seemed to stay, like heaven touched a small town roof in an ordinary way. And I didn't need to understand what had already begun. My heart learned something gentle when the steeple caught the sun. Maybe grace can look like light on paint that's wearing thin. Maybe faith begins outside before you walk in. Maybe all a child can keep from years that move and run is one bright little memory of when the steeple caught the sun. When the steeple caught the sun, it still shines in me now, through the dust of all these years and the roads that took me out. I don't need the morning back, I don't need those days undone. I just keep that golden moment when the steeple caught the sun. When the steeple caught the sun. When the steeple caught the sun. I just keep that golden moment when the steeple caught the sun. Old road, Sunday clothes, dust rising by the tires, Mama saying sit up straight, Daddy humming with the choir. White shirts in the backseat, shoes polished up just right, and the morning through the windshield looked soft and full of light. The gravel didn't care much for collars, ties, and lace. It settled on our trousers before we ever reached the place. But nobody seemed to mind it, that was just the way it went. A little dust on Sunday clothes never took away what Sunday meant. Old road Sunday clothes, that's how the morning rolled. Through the fields and past the fences with the church bell calling slow. And I didn't know that simple ride would be something I'd still hold. But my heart remembers both of them old roads and Sunday clothes. Mama wore a blue dress with a little flower song. Daddy wore the same good shirt every Sunday I had known. My sisters whispered in the back, I watched the fence posts fly. Too young to understand the peace that was passing through my life. There were potholes by the turnoff, there were weeds along the lane, there were hymns waiting somewhere, and breakfast still on my brain. The world looked clean for one small hour, though the road was rough and worn, and every mile felt almost holy in the quiet country morn. Old road Sunday clothes, that's how the morning rolled. Through the fields and past the fences with a church bell calling slow. And I didn't know that simple ride would be something I'd still hold. But my heart remembers both of them old roads and Sunday clothes. Maybe grace was not all polished, maybe peace was never clean, maybe it was dust and cotton and the space that came between the work week and the Sabbath, between the house and churchyard stones, between the child I used to be and the man who still looks home. Oh, road Sunday clothes still come back soft and clear when the morning light turns golden and the old bells disappear. I don't need those days returned to know what they still show. There was beauty in the journey on roads and Sunday clothes. Oh, road Sunday clothes, oh, road Sunday clothes. There was beauty in the journey, oh, roads and Sunday clothes. Grace in the little things, coffee in a chipped blue cup, morning light across the table before the house woke up, Mama moving through the kitchen, Daddy clearing out his throat, a clean shirt on the chair back and the smell of Sunday clothes. Grace in the gravel road, taking us to church, dust along the fenders and a Bible in Mama's purse, the bell above the steeple, the field field beyond the lane, the way the white church waited like it knew us all by name. Grace in the little things that I didn't know to keep, in the hands that passed the biscuits, in the prayers before we'd eat. It wasn't loud or shining, it didn't need to sing, but I was raised and held together by grace in the little things. Grace in the wooden pew, third row from the back, in the paper fan I folded and the sunlight on my hands, in the choir singing softly with the old piano warm, in the way the whole room listened to a quiet Sunday morn. Grace in the parking lot, after service let us go, men talking by the tailgates, children running slow, a handshake from a neighbor, a question asked with care, a little town still standing in the warm and dusty air. Grace in the little thing that I didn't know to keep, in the hands that passed the biscuits, in the prayers before we'd eat. It wasn't loud or shining, it didn't need to sing, but I was raised and held together by grace in the little things. Maybe mercy isn't always something falling from above. Maybe it's 1,000 mornings where you knew that you were loved. Maybe what becomes a memory was ordinary once, a porch light, road dust, coffee steam, and the rising of the sun. Grace in the little things still finds me when I'm grown, when the Sunday light comes through and I feel less alone. I don't need the whole past back to know what peace can bring. I just thank the quiet heaven in grace in the little things. Grace in the little things. Grace in the little things. I just thank the quiet heaven in grace in the little things. The morning still remembers what the years have carried on. Coffee in the kitchen and the first light coming strong. Church bells in the distance rolling soft across the fields. A Sunday kind of quiet that the world can't fully steal. It remembers Mama's footsteps moving gently through the room, Daddy in his Sunday shirt humming some old tune. It remembers polished shoes by the old screen door, and children asking questions they don't ask anymore. The morning still remembers, even when the people change.
even when the old roads bend and the houses lose their names. And I don't need the past return to feel what still remains. The morning still remembers in a soft and simple way. It remembers gravel parking lots and handshakes after prayer, sunlight through the stained glass and dust moving in the air. It remembers breakfast tables, biscuits, cups, and grace, the kind of love that didn't shout but held the whole place. Small towns grow quiet, old bells lose their sound, families move to other roads and names leave town. But every now and then, when Sunday comes in slow, the light falls just familiar and the heart already knows. The morning still remembers, even when the people change, even when the old roads bend and the houses lose their names. And I don't need the past return to feel what still remains. The morning still remembers in a soft and simple way. Maybe memory isn't gone when the voices fade. Maybe it just waits for life to find another place. Maybe home can still come back, not as walls or doors, but as peace across a morning you've been needing more. The morning still remembers, and I can feel it now, in the coffee, in the sunlight, in the stillness settling down. I don't need to be a child again or walk those roads the same. The morning still remembers what the years could never take.
The morning still remembers. The morning still remembers
what the years could never take. The morning still